notification. I thought we'd do a little work catch up, a little work update. I wrote a bunch of stuff down, but yesterday was a full month in itself, so I don't know if we'll get to that. But I'm gonna pop some coming and we'll get into it. First, you know the drill, you know the deal. We gotta do some channel maintenance, some channel hygiene. So if you're new here, welcome to my nonsense. If you're old here, welcome back. Oh geez, the mic is up there. If you're new, please consider hitting subscribe, and if you're old, go double check, make sure you're subscribed, hit the like if you like, leave a comment. It could be anything related to the video. It could just be a hello, a few emojis, whatever, as long as it's cool and respectful. Hit the notification bell. As always, I've linked my tip jars down yonder in the description box. No pressure whatsoever, but every dollar or two helps. That is what allows me to continue to make content. Also, you are invited to my Patreon. I know not everybody can come, but you can't say you weren't invited. The link to my Patreon is down below, and I post a lot over there. If you want extra content but you don't want to leave this platform, you can join YouTube memberships by clicking join below or going to my channel page and clicking the join button. That is content that is exclusive to YouTube members. Alright. So, okay. Beginning of this week, I got an email that said one of my kids that like never shows up to fourth block, which fourth block I have a big portion of kids ditch because that's the lunch block. So they just never come out of the lunchroom. And I think there's a lot of ways to solve this, but who am I? Anyways, the email that I get is that they don't understand how she's passing because she's never there. That's true, but because everything's posted online, she has been turning in work. And I have been grading it and submitting it because I didn't know what to do with it. Maybe somebody should have told me, if somebody's not in class, don't grade their work, but nobody did until now. And it said, you know, she's not allowed to get passes, blah, blah, blah. And you can check if I've given, all the passes are electronic. We have to log the passes. So I'm like, what are they talking about? I've never given her a pass. So I responded like, hey, I've never given her a pass. I just haven't seen her in class. Like, she doesn't show up for me to even give her a pass. And I actually have that kid in another class, and she's there. She's in that class like twice a week. She's in the building. I don't know. It's not my job to go find out where these kids are. It's like I take attendance. If she's not there, I mark her absent. So I did have a talk with the kid, and I said, hey, you know, I'm not allowed to grade any more of your work unless you're in class. And that did work. Like, she has been in class, so I guess, you know, if it works, it works. But I felt like I was getting some of the blame for her not being there. Like, she's 17. I have nothing to do with this. I cannot make these kids show up. I cannot make them stop ditching. That's an attendance issue. We have an attendance officer. We have security. You guys know who your hot button kids are. Somebody should have eyes out in the halls for them. I'm stuck in the classroom. I don't know what to tell you. So that was fun. Okay, so last week, midweek, my 6th block is that block that like is outrageous. It's just constant disrespect and constant chaos. One of my 6 blockers, who I do have a little soft spot for because he is funny. He is funny, but he's got a lot going on, and I do know that. So I try to like level with him sometimes. But anyways, he gets kicked out of my class all the time, but he always comes back and apologizes. And anyways, he got in a fight last week, and it said he had to have a meeting for re-entry because that was like his 2nd fight this year. I'm not kidding. My work, I don't know if this is normal. If you work at schools, let me know, but there's probably 5 fights a week at my school. It can vary, but there's usually a fight a day, but some days we have like 3 fights in one day. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I guess he got in a fight. He had to have a re-entry meeting, which is like a parent or guardian has to bring you to school, and you guys have to first block. Like, he needs impulse control. But like, he's a sweetheart. He asked me if I could be his mom one time, and I was like, I can't be your mom. He's like, well, would you date? Because his grandpa's his guardian. He's like, would you date my grandpa? I was like, that would make me your grandma, and I can't be your grandma either. And also, I'm married. Anyways, so that was another event. We did move back into the kitchen, which is like half kitchen, half classroom. It's kind of silly and stupid to have it set up like that because that means we have to switch classes all day with the other classrooms that need to cook. Stupid. But if you've been following, you know that we were out of the kitchen because of a pest problem. So all my foods classes were just tucked away in another class. It was nonsense. We're back in there. It looks like there's no living. I haven't seen a living pest. Plenty of dead ones, no living ones. So they say it's ready to go. However, as I was like searching, I had my fourth block. I was like, okay, let me go. I already had my lunch, so it's okay if I get a little grossed out. Let me go do like some inspecting. So they're doing their work. I start walking around towards the kitchen end of things, and the para that's in the room, she sees me checking things, so she starts like looking around. She's already paranoid about being in that room, and I get it, but we also still have to do our job. Anyways, so she goes over and she opens one of the closets up, and as she does this, some kind of scent permeates the room, and I'm like, what is that? Now she had shut the closet again. She goes, there's a bad smell coming out of that closet. I was like, okay. I was like, do we have any volunteers that want to just go look? Because I'm not doing it. But the kids they get excited. Some of the kids they like gross stuff. And one of the girls was like, I'll do it. And so she gets up and she goes over there and she opens it. And again, the smell permeates the room. And I'm sure at that point that there's a dead rodent in there. So I go over there and peek. There's a trap. But it's the kind of trap that you can't see what's in it. It's like a box. So who knows how many dead mice were in there. And the para's kind of like freaking out. She's really sensitive to smells, which I get. But also, again, we're the adults. So that's not helping anything. She's like standing in the hall. I was like, okay, let me call the secretary and let them know that we're just going to take a walk until maintenance gets over here to get this out. So we go take like an outdoor walk together as a class. We come in through another door and we get back and she won't even come back in the room. The mouse is gone. It does still stink, right? But whatever. Anyways, over time the smell is dissipated and they sprayed some kind of like ozone air spray thing in there, and that kind of stunk, but not near as bad as what it was. So y'all, I can't handle mice. I do not want to see a mouse. I don't want to see a dead one or a living one. You guys know I'm just placeholding until this new hire comes in, and that's been 3 weeks. How long does it take to get some? You're hired. Let's go. How long does this take? What? And then I have to move over to department head's position because she's out, and I don't know how long that's for. And her classes have gone absolutely apeshit since she's been gone. They are naughty. And then I'm supposed to go over there and just, it's gonna be, okay, I think I have a sneeze coming on. Oh, one of our cooking days, we made ramen. That's what we're working with because all we have is these microwaves because we were kicked out of the kitchen, right? So we made ramen, and it's like you have to pair the kids up or triple the kids up, and they make ramen and they just split it, and it was ramen with hot Cheetos and then sriracha on top. It's nothing. So stupid. But whatever. Like it's have a cook day, have a lab, get your lab points. And 6 block comes in again, and one of the girls is like, can I make my own? And I was like, no, because they really only give me enough for you guys to be pairs or triples. And she asked me like 4 times, and finally I was like, I said you're out of here. So I have to go over and call security. She's like, I'll leave myself. And I was like, sweet. And she's usually a pretty, like, quiet girl. But she also never shows up to class. Like, she hears we're gonna cook and she'll show up to class. But they told me that if they're not caught up on a lot of their work, just tell them they can't cook. I'm like, oh, that'll go over real well, too. Anyways, she was fine. I saw her the next day, and these kids are so used to getting in trouble that I don't even know if they remember getting in trouble the day before. Oh God. So we had one of my behavior kids. This is the second time or third time that he just comes in and he like lay in the kitchen area instead of coming to sit at a desk, and you're not allowed to do that. You're not even supposed to be back in the kitchen area. This is the classroom at the front of the room. Like I said, it's stupid. Don't go back there. And he'll just like lay on the floor or lay on a counter back there, and I'm like, you have to come over here. And he won't. Well, there's a para in that block finally. So she's over there arguing with him. I was like, stop arguing with him. The choice, there's no more choice. He has to leave. I swear to God, I called attendance for 10-15 minutes. Nobody answered. I called the main office. Nobody answered. I called another security office. I called the downstairs security. I called the main office. I called upstairs security. Nobody's answering. Now, had this been a fight, had this been an attack, had this been a school, you know what? Had this like what's going on here? I wanted to leave. I'm like, if this is the best y'all can do, that's not gonna cut it. How come I'm over here dying and this system doesn't work in an emergency? Now that was not an emergency, but it's the same lines. It's the same. Anyways, they finally come get him, mid-class after he's taken half the class time away with his antics. And when I wrote the referral, I was like, his insistent clownery. My referrals, if you guys could read my referrals, they've turned me into a straight up biatch. Because I'm like, these referrals aren't doing anything. They're not changing behaviors. Half the time the kids get talked to. Yeah, so that was that. Then we have the booger picker. Okay, so we have a kid. He does have some things going on or whatever, but we're back in groups now because that room, the desks are situated in groups. And nobody would, like, he's at a table, he's in a group, and they're all got up and came to me quietly and respectfully. That group did, and they're like, I can't sit there, he's eating his boogers. And I'm like, I get it. I couldn't do that either, right? That is reasonable. So I had to pull him aside and give him like he's still in that group, but like I kind of I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. He does other stuff too that's very unaware, but also like everybody's sick right now. My kid has hands, foot, and mouth right now. Like, we do not need those germs spreading and spreading and spreading. I don't know what to do about that. But my third block, which is my interpersonal dynamics, we're watching one of my favorite movies. So that is the highlight of my day. We are watching Mr. Church because we just covered a death unit. Death, grieving, the stages of grief, etc. So we're watching Mr. Church, and then they'll write a paper about all the different stages that they've seen in the movie. And if you have not watched Mr. Church, and I don't even like 70s, but I can handle that one. I can handle Mr. Church, even though a big portion of it is in the 70s. It's Eddie Murphy. His character is hired by a guy that was passing away because his girlfriend had breast cancer and she had like 6 more months to live. And so he told him, like, hey, go be the cook for this family because I love this lady, but I'm dying. She's gonna die in 6 months. Go help them out, and in exchange for that, I'll give you a lifetime salary. So he goes over there, meets the family, starts cooking for them, and the little girl, she's kind of like the main character too. She's really It's just sweet, but I already cried. We watched the first 40 minutes of it, and I already cried. I'm like, sorry guys. They'll probably be crying by the end. It's midterms this week, so I got all these kids that didn't do. They want to turn in work, and they make you accept it here at this school. Their work is 56 days late, 60 days late, 30 days late, and you still have to accept it and grade it. Oh, no problem. I'll just grade every minute of my entire life because they chose not to do the work when it was due with the class. They also want help on it because we did this months ago, and so that's kind of it. I'm hoping to watch Ratatouille next week with my foods classes because we haven't done anything like chill in that class. I've been keeping them working because I don't know, we've just been working straight out of the book, and then also that 6 block